Good morning and welcome to Journaling Through History. On this segment, I want to just take a few minutes and make a short segment about priorities. Over the last 20 years as a Christian, in the beginning, maybe 20 years ago, a friend of mine gave me some really good advice. He said, in your life, if you have these three priorities and keep them in this order, you will have much success in your life. The number one priority, he said, was your personal relationship with God. Your personal relationship with God isn't just your prayer time and reading time and church time and missionary time and ministry and children ministry and parking lot ministry and all these church things collaborated into one priority. Your number one priority is your personal relationship with God. That's just my time that Keith spends alone with God. My prayer time, my reading the Bible time, my journaling time. That's my number one God priority. My second priority in my life is my family. To care for my wife, my nephews, my niece, my sister, my mom, my stepdad, all of my family. They are a priority to me, to love them, to nurture them in the ways of God, to share with them, to be an encouragement to them, to be there to help them. Whatever that might look like, my family is my second priority in my life. My third priority in life is my time at work. That's my studying, it's my phone calls, emails, being at work. That's my third priority. My fourth priority and fifth and sixth and seventh and eighth, all of those number 4 on could be anything you want. But the advice my friend gave me was you keep these 3 priorities in order, 1, 2, 3 in your life, and you will live a successful life. So let's review. Priority number 1, your personal relationship and your personal time with Jesus Christ. Number 2, your family. Devoting yourself to loving your family, caring for your family, helping, providing for your family. Whatever that might look like, your family is your second priority. Your third priority is your job. Going to work, earning a living, because that will help finance and care for and provide for the needs of your family. And that will put a roof over your head and provide the means also for you to continue with your relationship with God, your personal time with the Lord. I've had these priorities with me for the last 18 years, and they have been a game changer. So yesterday I was sitting down with a couple of men from the church, and we were having a discussion. And the discussion was about the busyness of life and how we find that at times there's just not enough time in the day to complete the things that we'd like to complete. And as we went around this table, and each man shared the struggles that they were encountering throughout the week, God put in my heart to share with these men how important it is to keep these priorities priority. But the biggest thing that came out of the conversation, and the thing we spent the most time on, was the amount of time we spent on our number one priority in discussing what it is and what it's not. Again, our first priority is our personal time with God. That's all it is, our prayer time and our reading the Bible journaling time. That's all that it is. However, oftentimes, we want to add things to that. We will add going to church to that number one priority. We will add serving in the children's ministry to that number one priority. We will add going to the Thursday night men's study to that priority. We will add coffee time with the guys and breakfast with the guys or the ladies to that priority. And we add all these church activities to this priority. And if you've heard the term spoken before, it says now it gets top heavy. So if this was a building and all those things were getting piled up here at the top, it would get so heavy it would fall over. Like a tree. They say if a tree gets top heavy, the tree is going to fall over. Likewise, that's what happens. And it becomes a heavy burden for us men, for the ladies, for all of us who have a relationship with God. We get very top heavy. And that top heaviness interferes with our ability to care for our family and to succeed at work. So today's encouragement, keep your priorities a priority. Personal relationship, number 1. Family, number 2. work, number 3. I'm a man that practices what I preach, and last night I had the joy of sharing with my wife that after having this conversation with these group of men, I went about my day, and the day was rather busy, and I found myself at the end of the day running out of time, and had not completed and accomplished the things I needed to do with work. So it's around 6:30, which was about the time I wanted to leave to go to the church to participate in a evening time of worship and a special message from a guest speaker. I had to stop and evaluate if I had my priorities taken care of, and my answer at that point was no. I had not completed my studies, I had not finished my work, and those are my priorities. So I used my priorities to evaluate whether or not I had the time to go do other commitments, other activities, or if I could accept other invitations. Stop. Take a look. When people invite you somewhere or they offer you an opportunity, stop and ask yourself, how is that going to affect my 3 priorities? My personal relationship, time with God, my family time, and my work time. If it's going to interfere in any one of those 3 in any way, say no. And it's okay to say no. Throughout history, as I've studied the Bible for 20 years now, the thing that I've seen time and time again is if we obey God, keep His commandments, keep priorities of priorities, as Jesus says, to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself. And in these, encapsulate all the promises, all the law of the Bible. If we do this simple thing today, keeping our 3 priorities, the 3 priorities, 1, 2, and 3, in that order, we will live a successful life. Have a great day, and God bless you.